Hello and welcome, guys. A very good evening to all of you. My name is Kishan Pratap Singh, and I welcome one and all to today's session on demystifying legal studies for law aspirants. If all of you can hear me properly, and if the screen is visible, please write down yes in the comment section. Welcome Modi ji, welcome Parth, welcome Sujata, welcome Shaurya. Right. Thank you, Rutuja. Thank you, Shub. Thank you, Aditya. Well, guys, this session is arrangement session of your first law lecture that most of you might have attended with IMIS. So today we are going to discuss about legal aptitude as a section, and I will give you some pointers, some tips and tricks to excel in this particular section or subject area. So be ready with your notepad and pen. Welcome Dikshita, welcome Manav, welcome Satish, welcome Dimple, welcome Dhwani. Sorry, I think many students have joined in, so we are good to go. Guys, keep on typing your comments in the chat box so that if you have any question, that will be answered then and there. So you don't have to wait for it. Okay, guys, let's start. Most of you have already decided that you are going to go for national law schools. So law school journey begins with cracking any good national level entrance exam. So CLAT is the mother examination of all law related entrance exams. So that becomes the most important exam to target. My name is KP Singh. I'm chief mentor with IMIS Learning Resources. I did my law from National Law School Punjab and masters from National Law School Kolkata. I'm UGC NET qualified and a PhD scholar pursuing a PhD in the field of international law. The first thing which comes to mind when we hear about law as a career is either learned advocate Sunny Deol shouting Tariq pe Tariq in the courtroom or Jolly LLB. So most of us generally know about an advocate or a judge, but there is this entire world beyond the courtroom, which is waiting for you people. That is the corporate sector, you joining the MNCs or joining some international agency or becoming a legal advisor. Well, a law career path begins with a good stepping stone, and law school serves as the launchpad to these amazing options in future. Well, there can be many examples that we cite, and we might have discussed a few names with you in some of our sessions, like Anubhuti Agarwal. She's a senior counsel for Hilton Worldwide. Hilton is a 5-star hotels chain. She had also worked with Amarchand Mangaldas, and she also did her master's from University College of London. Where did she start her journey? It started at NLS Bangalore. Shruti Srivastava, standing counsel for central government in Supreme Court. Her journey started at NLU Kochi. Shweta Luthra, independent legal consultant, did MSc in criminology from Oxford in 2009. Her journey started at NUJS Kolkata. Right, so we can go on and on. Seema Pujani, All India rank 37 in UPSC Civil Services, rejected LLM offer from Germany to pursue career in civil services. Her journey started at NLS Bangalore. UPSC and law school have a kind of love affair. So Seema is not just one of example. There are many in that legacy. Gitanjali Brendan, All India rank 6, 2010. 2011, All India rank 1, Divadarshini Mattu, Bangalore Law. So law field gives you an added advantage if you're aspiring to crack the most difficult exam in a country, UPSC Civil Services. Even if you're targeting state level services, state PCS or judicial service, or you want to have a career in the defense forces, but you don't want to perform front end duty, or you can say border posting all the time. Again, law school will come to your rescue. You can become a judge advocate general, and you will be participating in court martial matters in court martial courts rather than serving the nation at the border. You will be serving the nation at courtrooms. You can become part of international organizations, whether working for UN or let's say WTO or ICJ. Tamujit Chatterjee, partnership officer with UN Sustainable Energy for All. His journey started at HNLU Raipur. So, if you get the right platform, might be that in future we use your photograph for similar presentation. In order to get into a good law school, you need to have some skills required to be a good lawyer. What do you people think? Lawyers, what are the skills required by lawyers? ऐसी कौन सी skills है जो चाहिए law school में अच्छा करने के लिए, अच्छा lawyer बनने के लिए? So question is open for all. Yes, this session is open for everybody. Welcome, Manav. Okay. What are the skills that you people think are most essential, most crucial for you guys to excel in this field? सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी क्या लगता है? Attention to details. So Rutuja says attention to details is important. Yes, that is. Good communication skills. Sure, that's also an amazing answer and obviously to the point. Whether I'm arguing in front of court of law or I'm trying to convince a client, the single most important factor that is going to matter is how I speak and what I speak. So language plays an important role. Ability of mugging up n number of eggs. Well, that's not true. Well, Harsh, alias Modi ji, law school will never ask you to mug up information. Law school aapko ratna nahi sikhate. They teach you 3 critical, crucial skills. They will teach you how to research law, how to find answers to complicated legal questions. They will teach you interpretation, how to understand law. And most importantly, they are going to teach you how to apply law. That is utility. So research, understanding and application. If you learn these 3 skills, you will never have to memorize legal principles or prepositions. Consistency, communication skills, persistence. Nitya says persistence, Dhwani says consistency, Manav says argumentative behavior. Well, that's not necessary. Well, most of you, when you complete your law degree, will not go to a courtroom. So the vast majority of people graduating from national law schools generally don't go to a courtroom. So there are n number of other alternative avenues available where you can have a wonderful living. Good research and analytical skills. Yes, Shaurya, that's very correct. Communication skills, not only knowing the law, but also knowing how to twist it and apply it to serve the legal purpose. Ability to argue, okay, consistently. Well, do you think reading also matters? Not just understanding? For example, if you're a voracious reader, or you have good reasoning or logical ability, or you have attention for details, or you have a flair for debating, any of these skills would do. एक भी अगर इसमें से है तो आप लॉ डिग्री के बाद एक अच्छा फ्यूचर एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं. Well, by the way, there is a steady growth in number of applicants. Year after year, number of applicants is rising by on an average 13% applicants go up. So that is the reason. If you want to start preparing, if you haven't started preparing, the best time to start would be now. So if you don't do it this year, let's say after every 2 years, competition will be up by another 20%. So let's start. These are the top law schools. We have talked about these in multiple workshop seminars earlier, so I'm not going to harp more about it. You should know that there's an extended exhaustive list available on IMIS blog. If you want to get into the details, visit imisindia.com/law/blog/NLU ranking top law colleges India, where you will find a detailed list of different categories of colleges. We have categorized them as A++, A+, B++, and so on. So we have given justification and reasoning for ranking that we have applied. So NLS Bangalore, India's undoubtedly best law school, tops the chart of A++ universities, and there are some other top national schools. Jindal Global Law School is one of the finest private law schools in our country. A plus category, you will have National Law School Mumbai, Gandhinagar, Raipur, Lucknow, Patiala, couple of private colleges like Symbiosis Pune, IMIS Mumbai. There are some traditional government colleges like GLC Mumbai, which is Asia's oldest law school that you people can target. Extended list is available on our blog, on our website. Please go through that in order to learn more. Law school will give you 5 years of experience that you will not get anywhere else. So if you want to live in a specialized university, just imagine 500 to 800 kids, all focusing on different areas and branches of law, living together. So the best brains, best future lawyers of a country living together under one roof. You are the average of 3 people you mostly hang out with. So always choose those 3 people judiciously or cautiously. If you're at a good college in India, you will be studying among the best of the best or the best of the crowd. In today's country, it doesn't really matter which course you pursue. What is going to matter more in life is from which institute are you pursuing that course. That is the reason if you have decided to go for law, your obvious choice should be to pursue law at the top national law universities of a country. So law school will not just focus on academics, it will try to give you 360-degree development. That means they will look after your wholesome growth development. So the way they teach is called clinical legal education. So college is going to emphasize more on imparting practical training rather than asking you to mugging up or rectifying information. Okay, there are many law entrance exams. Most of you know about it. So National Law School, there are 23 NLUs operating in India, out of which 22 will take admission based on CLAT. CLAT is the mother examination. It started in 2008. That year, there were 10,708 students who participated. And now if you look at the numbers, number is way above 53,000 people. There are 5 sections, 5 subject areas. English section, 30 questions, 30 marks. GK, 35 questions. Quantitative techniques or numerical ability, 15 questions, that is 10% weightage. Legal aptitude, 40 questions. And logical reasoning, 30 questions. So all questions carry equal weightage. You get +1 for every correct answer and 0.25 is deducted for every incorrect answer. If you look at AILT's pattern, which is entrance exam for National School Delhi, only NLU not accepting CLAT score. Again, you get 150 questions. All questions carry equal weightage. You get +1 for every correct answer and 0.25 is deducted for incorrect answer. Again, there are 5 sections. Mathematics or quant weightage got reduced to 6.6% from 10%. So just 10 questions and rest all 35 each. So 35 questions for law, 35 reasoning, 35 for GK, 35 for verbal. Another major difference between these 2 exams is that in ALET you will get only 90 minutes to solve 150 questions, whereas in CLAT you get 2 hours to solve 150 questions. Which one do you think is lengthy? CLAT or ALET? किस क्वेश्चन पेपर को सॉल्व करना मुश्किल होगा? Well guys, though it seems that ALET में 150 questions 90 minutes, tough job, and CLAT में you get 2 hours 120 minutes, so that would be much easier, isn't it? But if you look at the question paper, those of you who have already attempted would know this, that the question paper is verbose. That means a lot of text, a lot of reading required, and hence it is going to be equally challenging, if not more. I've highlighted legal aptitude in both these exams. Why? Because legal aptitude is the tiebreaker section in CLAT as well as AILT. So if there are more than 2 kids with same score in CLAT or same score in AILT, then whoever scores more in legal aptitude, that student will be given preference. And that makes legal aptitude one of the most important sections to prepare for your law entrance exam. In other exams also, you will find hefty weightage given to legal aptitude. Like Maharashtra CET, there will be 40 questions on legal aptitude. Well, IMIS, as you guys know, is India's oldest test prep aptitude shaping institute. We have been operating for 40+ years now. We help students in achieving their dreams. We help them go to their dream law schools and management colleges. We prepare students for various entrance exams like UG, BBA, IMS, IPM, BMS, Law, MassCom, BCA, HM, SET, and others. If you are already a student of IMS, your journey has already started. Whether you are in class 11th, you can join a 2-year program that is IMS Extend Law Program. If you're in class 12th, you can join IMS Intech program, which is 1-year law program. And if you've already taken CLAT this year, then we have launched a very specific program for repeat takers. It is called CLAT Advanced Program. So this program is tailor-made for CLAT repeat takers. So as I always say, that preparation journey for each and every student is different. All of you are not going to do the exact same thing. You have to identify your strengths, you have to identify your weaknesses, and you have to prepare your own strategy based on your strengths and weaknesses. That is the reason IMIS has been receiving amazing feedback from all our ex-students. The reason being that we customize our prep plan according to the needs of the student. So each IMS student is allowed to book my plan sessions with India's best mentors, and they will help you not just in identifying your strengths and weaknesses. They will also help you in preparing your study plan. They will give you personalized guidance, how you can improve your score, how can you break the glass ceiling when your score gets stagnant, and a constant support and moral boost. IMS boasts about various things. We have cutting edge technology. My IMS portal is one of its kind. It will give you detailed analysis of your performance. It will keep on tracking your performance throughout the year, throughout the course of 2 years if you have enrolled for a 2-year program. And our support goes beyond classroom. We provide you help in form filling. We provide you help in one-to-one mentoring, in score improvement, exam guidance, and various other type of support required to a student. Let's say if you're going for personal interview for symbiosis or Christ, we will help you in PI. If you have to face, let's say, GD for some exam, we'll help you in GD. If you have to write writing ability test, we will help you in that. Our results are a testimony of that. We have been producing all India rankers or single digit rankers year after year. Just yesterday, I conducted a workshop with All India Rank 7. And today, after this session, there's another workshop with Tulika, another topper from CLAT this year. So do tune in to that session as well at 8:30. Okay, so let's move on to legal aptitude. If I compare all the major exams, if I put all the major exams together, there are basically 4 question types that I need to face. And if I go in hierarchy, that means system of ranking, the single most important question type that I need to master is passage-based legal reasoning. So CLAT will cover, in CLAT, legal aptitude will cover 40 marks, so 40 questions. All questions will be based on passages. So there will be 8 passages, each passage followed by 5 questions. Average length of a passage is around 450 words. If you go to the syllabus, it says that no prior legal knowledge is required. So no prior legal knowledge is required in order to no prior legal knowledge is required in order to solve these questions. Guys, can all of you see the screen right now? Is the text visible on your screen? Can somebody just give me a quick? There's a question, how many exams should we give? Well, ideally, every one of you, each and every one of you should appear in at least 4 to 5 different exams. So which 4 to 5 exams you should target? In order to decide that, get in touch with your IMS mentor. We will get in touch with your IMS mentor. We will give you guidance regarding that. So I will not give uniform answer to each and every one of you. My answer will differ from student to student. So based on your aspiration level, based on your capabilities, based on how much workers you're willing to put in, your level of dedication and consistency, everything put together, we will give you a list of target colleges and exams, customized as per your needs. Okay. Manav says even abroad. Okay, there's a question: is JGLS better than SIMBI? Well, there are earlier when we had to rank colleges, let's say 20 years back or 15 years back, there was only one criteria that people used to consider: distance. Which college is closest to my house? Nowadays, when we have to rank colleges, there are 20 different parameters. For example, peer group. Where are the smartest students studying? IIT Delhi, IIT Powai are considered India's best IITs, not because these colleges are in Delhi or Mumbai, but because after beating 11 lakh plus kids, the top 2000 will pick these colleges. IIM Ahmedabad is considered India's best IIM, not because it is in Ahmedabad, but because after beating 2.5 lakh other kids, the top 300 will pick IIM Ahmedabad. Endless Bangalore is India's best law school, not because it is in Bangalore, but because after beating 55,000 kids, the top 120 will study there. So peer group, college को बनाते और बिगाड़ते student है. So please make sure कि आप जहाँ जा रहे हैं वहाँ quality of student कैसा जाता है. So if I just have to compare quality of student, SIMBI ends up getting better students than General Global Law School. The reason can be many, but one major factor is cost. If you pursue your law at Symbiosis, you will be spending around 3 lakhs per annum. But if you're pursuing your course at General Global Law School, you will be spending about 6 lakhs per annum. So 3 lakhs और 6 lakhs में बहुत difference है. इस वजह से बहुत सारे बच्चे सिम्बी को प्रेफर करते हैं जनरल ग्लोबल लॉ स्कूल. बट अगर रिसर्च क्वेश्चन के हिसाब से देखा जाए, student teacher ratio and other factors, then General Global Law School is doing much better than Symbiosis in those parameters. Okay, well, this is not college awareness session, so I will not go into details. You can visit the blog, go through it once, and then get in touch with your mentor. They will give you proper guidance. Let's focus on the section or the subject that we have to target today. So legal aptitude. Legal aptitude, what does word aptitude means? It doesn't mean knowledge. It generally means skill set. If I do a jugglery of words and I ask you to disintegrate this word, aptitude, what do you get? इस शब्द का संधि विच्छेद कीजिए, क्या मिलेगा? आपको मिलेगा apt plus attitude. So apt means suitable and attitude is a mental approach. So what the examiner is trying to test is not your knowledge of that subject area. Rather, they are trying to test whether or not you are genuinely inclined towards that field. So whether you do have the skills required to do well in that particular area. So examiner is going to test your skill rather than testing your knowledge. So analytical skills, communication skills, language skills, logical reasoning skills, everything will be tested in this one exam. So CLAT is not just an exam of knowledge. CLAT is going to test all your skill sets. They will test your speed, they will test your accuracy, they will test your question selection, your decision making, your time management. In short, I can say they're going to test your efficiency. So if you can manage those 120 minutes efficiently, you are going to achieve what you aspire. Well, and part of that exam management is managing this particular section, which is your tiebreaker section. Well, there are 4 question types which you have to tackle. In CLAT, all the questions will be passage based. In other exams, the single most important question type is principal fact based legal reasoning, like ALIT, Maharashtra, CET, SLAT, and others. Then there are legal concepts and legal current affairs. So legal concepts generally test your knowledge of those subjects which you will get to study in your first and second semester at law school. Topics like law of torts, contract, constitution. So basic idea about those areas. Legal current affairs, anything which happened in the legal world in last 1 year becomes of immense importance for us. So whether it be Farms Bill or the Afghan issue, whether it be UP government's new population bill or a new tax regime, everything which had an impact, you need to know that particular issue in depth. Whether you go through CLAT's website or ALIT's website, they say that in order to solve questions, no prior legal knowledge is required. But if you have prior legal knowledge, it will definitely help. Why? Because it will help you in better understanding the passage or the principle that you are reading. It will help you in quickly going through the concept. आप जल्दी समझ पाएंगे, आप जल्दी पढ़ पाएंगे. So prior legal knowledge will help, but you don't need to use that prior legal knowledge in order to reach a conclusion or to solve that question. Chali, with this note, let's move on. So passage-based legal reasoning, the most important question type which you need to master. Principal fact-based legal reasoning, another very important question type if you're targeting other exams other than CLAT. And there will be some questions based on legal concepts and legal current affairs. If you want to excel in this area, start improving your vocabulary. Subject vocab is very important. So start learning legal terminology that will help you in better understanding principles and passages. Start reading about legal news item. Every Friday we conduct a session called Quizzed, which is a national level law quiz. Don't forget to participate in Quizzed every single week. Similarly, we conduct a session every Saturday called Weekly Law Scoop. Many of you already attended. Please attend the live session and participate in the live quiz. Chaliye, let's move on. So what we're going to do is, let me start with the basic definition of law. So I'm not going to go by the textbook definition. What I'm going to say, okay. Chaliye, is Farms Bill still of any importance for 2022 students? Well, it depends. Farmers' agitation kitna lamba chalta hai. And if government brings in any changes, let's say if they modify the existing laws, or if they repeal these laws, again, this item becomes of importance, for 2022 exams. So what is law? In layman's understanding, or if I have to simplify, I would say law basically means common sense, but common sense of rational people. In order to give correct answer in the field of law, you need not be a genius, but you should also not be a dumb person. You should be somewhere in between. यानी जितने भी रीजनिंग के क्वेश्चन आते हैं लीगल एप्टीट्यूड में, whether passage based or principle based, in order to give correct answer, you need not be Albert Einstein, but you should also not be at the level of Rahul Gandhi. You should be somewhere in between. So if you can think like a normal person, if you can think like a prudent, rational, reasonable layman, you will always reach correct conclusion. अगर आप इतना कर सकते हैं तो आपके लिए काफी है. So common sense plus logic, अगर ये दो क्वालिटीज आप में है तो लीगल सेक्शन आपके बाएं हाथ का खेल. तो चलिए आपके सामने स्क्रीन पे कुछ क्वेश्चन आएंगे. These questions will test your common sense more than your knowledge. So you have to answer quickly. चलिए आप और मैं मिलके खेल रहे हैं कौन बनेगा लॉ स्कूल टॉपर. First question on your screen. Quickly answer in the chat box. You get only 5 seconds to respond. Questions on your screen. Larry's father has 5 sons named 10, 20, 30, 40. Guess the name of the 5th child. So Larry's father has 5 sons named 10, 20, 30, 40. Guess the name of the 5th child. Fastest finger first. Let's see who's the first one to respond. Pretty easy question, but still some students do get it wrong. Why does this happen? If you just go through the comment section, you'll realize still some people are writing 50. Correct answer to this question is Larry. The reason is that our brain has been trained to read patterns rather than words. So rather than focusing on what is written and trying to understand what it actually means, we assume things based on our own convenience. So whenever we see 10, 20, 30, 40, our brain forces us to think that the logical next word should be 50. Correct answer is Larry. Chaliye, so level of difficulty will keep on increasing with every subsequent question. I hope you guys are ready. Next question on your screen. Again, we are testing your common sense, not just your knowledge. So apply some brain. Questions on your screen. Name all the numbers from 1 to 100 which have letter A in their spelling. All the numbers from 1 to 100 which have letter A in their spelling. Start counting. ONE1, TW2. Let's see. Well, these are not CLAT level questions. These questions are just to test your common sense. So Modi responded, Nityashi responded, Shaurya responded. Okay. If you really think that you will have to write down spelling of all numbers 1 to 100, then you're mistaken, my friend. Any question that you see in the exam, if it is going to take more than 120 seconds, that means more than 2 minutes. If you think that I will require more than 2 minutes to solve this particular question, then you are using incorrect method, right? So 150 questions in 120 minutes, you're not even going to get a minute to solve a question. So if you're going to take more time, that means you're using incorrect method or you have not understood the question. Correct answer for this one is, as most of you pointed out, yes, here is Aditi, correct answer is none. Just spell out 0 to 9. अगर उसमें नहीं है तो उसके combination में भी नहीं होगा. 2 में नहीं है, 1 में नहीं है तो 21 में भी नहीं हो सकता. First number in which you get letter A is 1000 till 999 you will not find it. Well, chaliye, next question. This will require some legal knowledge. Let's see how much legal knowledge you people have attained or gained by now. Questions on your screen. It says the Mississippi River is the dividing line between Tennessee and Arkansas. So there's the river dividing two states. Mississippi River is dividing Tennessee and Arkansas. If an airplane crashed exactly in the middle of the Mississippi River there, then where would the survivors be buried? Kahan pe dafnaenge? It's a pretty simple question. Where shall we bury them? Let's see. Harris says in a grave. That's logical. I will wait for a couple of more responses. Okay. Will the nationality of that person matter? If someone belongs to Tennessee, that person shall be buried in Tennessee. Someone belongs to Arkansas, then we will bury that guy in Arkansas. Okay, so not in grave, not in Tennessee, not in Arkansas. Correct answer is nowhere. Why? Because if you read it alertly, last phrase says, where would the survivors be buried? Now, who is the survivor? Someone who survived, जो बच गया. तो जो बच गया उसे कहाँ दफनाएंगे? कहीं नहीं. So what I am trying here, I want you people to realize that casual reading is the single most important factor which contributes in negative marking. So because of casual reading, every year, many students lose a lot of marks in this section. Legal aptitude is one such section which always seems easy but is difficult. So आप जब भी question को solve करते हैं, चाहे आप passage पढ़ रहे हैं या principle based question कर रहे हैं, you will always think that you got the right answer. Whichever option you are picking, you will always have this feeling that yes, this is the right. Isn't it the obvious right answer? So after exam, if I meet you and say kaisa gaya exam, you'll always say sir maza aa gaya, very easy question. And but when the results are out, many people start realizing what silly stupid mistakes or blunders they have committed. So a simple solution to this problem is alert reading. Alert reading and alert listening can make a huge difference, right? So just to check whether or not you have realized it by now, we will do another question. Now I will give you two legal principles, and all you need to do is spot out the difference if there is any. That's it. You will get see two legal principles on your screen and just find out if there is any difference. If there's no difference, say no. If there's a difference, tell me what is the difference. Questions on your screen. Spot the difference quickly. So is there any difference? Yes or no? Chalish. Shubh responded. Harris says in first one it's written principle 1, in second one it is written principle 2. So numerical difference here 1 and 2. Dimple says A and N. An event, a event. Okay. Harris says event and natural event. Sujata says event and natural event. Yes, guys, this is the correct answer. Well, guys, there is difference of only one single word. In the first principle, it says an event. In the second principle, it says natural event. So what is an event? Event hota kya hai? Event means any happening or mishappening. कोई भी घटना या दुर्घटना इवेंट कहलाती है. Can you give me an example of an event? What is an event? It can be anything. Let's say some Netaji is taking out a procession, a rally. Is that an event? Yes, it is. India-Pakistan cricket match is going on. Is that an event? Yes. Two people are fighting in the middle of the road and we all are watching it, enjoying it. Is that an event? Yes. I'm getting married. Will that be an event? Tragedy hai, but हाँ ये भी event है. So event can be any happening or mishappening. But when I add a word natural before it, natural event means any event which occurred on account of nature or natural forces. प्राकृतिक घटना, प्रकृति की वजह से होने वाली घटना. Can you give an example of a natural event? Any example of a natural event? Let's see what people have to say. Yes, Shaurya, Modi ji ki speech is also an event. But now give me example of natural event. Earthquake. That's correct. Natural calamity. That's correct. Flood. Well, Manuso, अच्छी चीजें भी होती हैं. Let's say if it's raining, that's also a natural event. Snowfall, rainbow. Well, so event means any happening or mishappening. Natural event means any happening or mishappening which occurs on account of nature. By changing one single word, we change the entire meaning of the passage or of the principle. So if you're not reading alertly, if you're doing casual reading, most of you will miss out this minor difference. In 2017 CLAT, there were two questions with similar principle with minor alteration. सिर्फ एक word change हुआ. Same factual situation. Most of the students thought that CLAT consortium has committed a blunder. They have repeated a question. So rather than solving it, they just repeated the same answer. And most of them got negative marking. So please make sure that alert reading and alert listening is something that you never miss out on. Okay, now let's go to principle based questions. So let's say if I give you a legal preposition, many people think that legal language is complicated, but I beg to differ. Legal language is not complicated. It is just a bit more elaborated or explained. For example, if I have to give you this pen as a layman, I would say that I'm giving it to you. But as a lawyer, if I want to give it to you, अगर मुझे as a lawyer आपको देना है तो मैं आपसे कहूंगा मैं केपी सिंह आपको ये पेन, इसका ढक्कन, इसकी रिब, इसकी रिफिल ट्रांसफर करता हूँ. इस पेन के बदले आपने मुझे 500 रुपए कैश दिया है. इस पेन पे आज दिन तक कोई लेनदार या देनदारी नहीं है. अगर फ्यूचर में कोई लेनदार या देनदारी आती है तो उसकी जिम्मेदारी आपकी. What am I saying? Again, I'm repeating the same statement. I'm saying that I'm giving it to you. But what is the difference? As a layman, when we say anything, it is generally open-ended. जब आप आम आदमी की भाषा में बात करते हैं, आपकी बात के कई मतलब निकलते हैं. So when I said I'm giving it to you, it can mean that I'm selling it to you. Next day I can say, where is the payment for it? I sold you a pen yesterday. Or you can say, sir, no, it wasn't a sale, rather you gifted it to me, isn't it? मैं आपसे कह सकता हूं, नहीं, मैंने आपको उधार दिया था, वापस दे दीजिए. So whenever we are entering any commercial transaction where real money is involved, people will not like to take chances. So rather than using layman's language, we prefer legal language. So we'll try to block all loopholes. We'll try to complete the definition so that in future there is no dispute regarding it. So whether you are allowing a tenant to stay in your premise, or you're selling off your property, or you're joining a new job, you want your terms and conditions to be clarified. So let's try to understand a legal definition in detail. So the one that you can see on your screen is definition of cheating. If you just go by the legal preposition, it says, whoever by deceiving any person dishonestly induces the person to deceive to deliver any property to any person commits cheating, isn't it? थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, थोड़ा आसान करते हैं. So let's break it down into smaller chunks. Always remember that these principles are Brahma Satya. Brahma Satya means something which will not change with the change in time and place. First trick that you should note down is that whenever any rule starts with word whoever, or anyone, whoever or anyone, it is definition of some offense. Whenever any rule starts with word nothing, it is generally definition of a defense. तो अगर whoever या anyone से शुरू होता है तो वो offense की definition है, nothing से शुरू होता है तो वो defense की definition है. Here it says cheating. So cheating is an offense. Cheating के लिए क्या क्या requirement है? If you go by the definition, it says whoever by deceiving any person. So the first element is deception. What is deception? Deception means when you portray something to be true, which is in reality not true, or when you portray something to be false, which is in reality true. That is deception. सच को झूठ या झूठ को सच बताना. If I say that, do you know this pen belongs to Chacha Nehru, और या ये टीपू सुल्तान की तलवार है, क्या ये सच है? नहीं है. So I'm portraying something to be true, which is in reality not true. If you go for a magic show, you will find magicians using deception a lot. जो है वो नहीं है, जो नहीं है वो है. Well, deception is the first element of cheating. So whoever deceives any person then induces the person. So deceive. What is inducement? Inducement means convincing, persuading, manana, patana, behlana, fuslana, whichever word you feel like using here. So cheat will first of all deceive you and then will try to convince you. Convince you for what? To deliver any property to any person. So delivery of property is the third element here. I'm not saying this is the real definition of cheating. Might be examiner has changed it a bit. They might have altered it a bit. Actual definition is थोड़ा ज़्यादा lengthy है. I have shortened it. थोड़ा छोटा किया आपके लिए समझने के लिए. So now for me this definition becomes very easy. There are three elements: deception, inducement, and delivery of property. If all three elements are present, my answer would be yes. If any of these is missing, answer would be no. For example, if I say that Harris, you know, this pen used to belong to Chacha Nehru, and when he was on his deathbed, जब वो मर रहे थे, उन्होंने मुझे पास बुलाया और बोला कि तुम भारत का भविष्य हो, ये पेन लेकर जाइए और किसी ऐसे स्टूडेंट को बेचना जो बहुत सीरियस और सिंसियर. जैसे आज मैंने आपको देखा, आप सबसे पहले ये क्लास ज्वाइन कर रहे थे, तो I think you are the most deserving one. So I want to sell it to you. Rather, all of you are attending my session today. This pen is worth 10 lakh rupees in black market, but for all my students, I have a very amazing offer. I will give it to you if you just transfer 2,000 rupees. I can share my number. Many of you might be having my number already. Just Paytm me 2,000 rupees, and this amazing pen, once in a lifetime opportunity. ये पेन आपका हो सकता है. आप चाहे तो बाहर जाके बेच सकते हैं, अच्छी कीमत मिल जाएगी. क्या कोई लेना चाहता है? Anybody interested? No. Anyways, so what is deception in this transaction or in this conversation? Deception is when I say that this pen belonged to Chacha Nehru. When Chacha Nehru died in 1967, I was not born back then. So झूठ है. Second part. So deception हुआ, answer is yes. Inducement. Did I try to convince the other party? Yes, I did. I'm trying to give you, I'm trying to persuade you by saying कि बहुत सस्ता मिल रहा है, आज का offer है, especially आपके लिए and other things. But what property are we referring to? If you are thinking pen, then you're mistaken, my friend. So we are not talking about pen here. Even if I transfer this pen to you, cheating nahi hua. But in case somebody transfers 2,000 rupees to me, later on you will be complaining to the cops that this guy on YouTube channel cheated me today. So deception, inducement, and delivery of property. The cheater is inducing you, convincing you to deliver property. So if all three elements are there, answer would be yes. So whenever you come across any passage or any principle, please make sure that you're reading alertly, you're breaking it down into smaller chunks so that it becomes easier to understand. Okay, so don't fall into emotional traps. I will give you a couple of more suggestions. Whenever you're picking best option, especially in principal fact question, if you see any option has phrases could have, would have, or should have, you can outrightly reject that option. That option is incorrect. So shortcut to eliminate some of the options, right? Okay. Another rule is that don't fall for an emotional trap. Don't try to give idealistic answer. आपको इंसाफ करने के लिए नहीं बिठाया, तो इंसाफ करने की कोशिश ना करें. Idealistic answer न दें. अगर आप भावनाओं में बह जाएंगे तो आपके मार्क्स भी बह जाएंगे. So please make sure you're not getting emotional while answering. Don't try to give idealist answer. Don't try to give emotional answer. Don't try to use extra knowledge. Only use the information provided in the passage. Only use the information provided in the principle. Please don't go beyond it. And believe it to be true. Whatever is written in the passage or the principle is the Brahma Satya. That is the correct information. That is first presumption that you need to make. When you have to pick an option, go for the best possible option. Now, what will make an option best? The option which is satisfying highest number of ingredients from the principle becomes the obvious choice. The option which is more in consonance with the reasoning of the principle, more in consonance or more inconsistent, is more in. Sorry, I'm reading a couple of comments here. Let me just go through it once. Okay. ठीक है, चलिए. Anyways, चलिए, let's move on. Well, so please make sure that you're following these ground rules when you're attempting your question paper. Now let's try out passage-based question and let's see what are the common blunders that people make. In a passage-based question, in exam, please make sure that you're reading questions before the passage. Whenever you have two pieces of information, one is shorter, another one is lengthier, it would be easier to remember the shorter piece of information while reading the longer one. तो अगर आप क्वेश्चंस को पढ़ने के बाद पैसेज पढ़ते हैं तो वो क्वेश्चंस आपके दिमाग में फ्लोट करेंगे और आप ज्यादा जल्दी रिलेट कर पाएंगे, राइट? सो स्टेप बाय स्टेप अगर मैं आपको प्रोसेस बताऊं एग्जाम में क्या करना चाहिए आपको, ऑब्वियसली यू हैव टू रीड अलर्टली, दैट इज ऑब्वियस थिंग. प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट द मोमेंट यू सी अ क्वेश्चन पैसेज, दो चीजें आप नोट डाउन करते हैं. सबसे पहला, लेंथ ऑफ द पैसेज. सेकंड, एरिया. You don't have to read the entire passage in order to come to that conclusion. By the time your course completes, you will have sufficient knowledge to determine जो पैसेज है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से है, क्रिमिनल लॉ से है, इंटरनेशनल लॉ से है या किसी और सब्जेक्ट एरिया से. सेकंड थिंग, आप ये भी बता सकते हैं कि पैसेज एवरेज से ज्यादा लेंथी है या शॉर्ट है, बिकॉज यू वुड हैव अटेम्प्टेड n number of mock tests. These two pointers will help you in determining whether you should attempt the question or you should skip it. ABC approach, I think some of you might be aware of it, जो आपको सिखाया जाता है टेस्ट सीकिंग स्ट्रेटेजी में, और जिनको नहीं उनको आगे सिखाया जाएगा. So you need to identify, it is important to know which question to solve and more important to know which question to skip in your exam. So based on these two pointers, किस टॉपिक से है और कितना लेंदी है, so how many marks will I fetch अगर मैं ये सॉल्व करता हूँ, आप डिसाइड करते हैं क्वेश्चन स्किप करना है या सॉल्व करना है. Once you've decided कि हाँ करना है, so let's say कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का है और प्लस एवरेज साइज का है या शॉर्ट पैसेज है तो बिल्कुल करना चाहिए. 5 मार्क्स, लेस देन 5 मिनट्स, आराम से हो जाएगा. Then move on to the questions part and check out what type of questions are they asking. There could be some thematic questions like what will be the appropriate title of this passage, what is the conclusion of this passage, right? There could be a data driven question, what percentage of people in India get convicted in criminal cases, what is the conviction rate? So you need to find out data from the passage. There can be a situational question, there will be a factual situation, and after reading the passage you need to identify important provisions or rules and apply those rules on that given situation. There will be questions which check your critical reasoning. Which of the following statement strengthens the author's argument? Which of the following statement weakens the author's argument? Which of the following statement is true or not true as per the passage? So each question requires a different approach. Let's say the passage was data heavy, बहुत सारा data है उसमें, facts, figures, numbers, articles, section, rule numbers, order, ordinances. आपने पूरा पढ़ा, सब कुछ मार्क करते चले, नोट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और जब क्वेश्चंस पे आते हैं सारे क्वेश्चन थीमेटिक है. What do you think author is trying to convey? What do you think should be the conclusion of this passage? तो आपने जो पढ़ा वो काम नहीं आया ज्यादा. So it is better to go through the question and look at the passage. But today we will go by the traditional approach. I will give you a simple question and then we'll try to find out whether or not you guys can solve it properly. So I'm giving you a question and you will get a minute's time to solve it. Questions on your screen. Quickly read it. Well, if you have read it, please write down done in the chat box. Thank you, Harris. What about others? Chaliye. So let's move on to question answers. First question on your screen. So because your exam is paper based, when you're solving, when you're reading it, you can mark, using a HB pencil, the important areas, things which you need to focus on. If they have mentioned any particular section or article that is of some relevance, if they have mentioned an entire provision, you can underline that, because if there is a situational question, ye kaam aayega, right? If they have mentioned any particular person or post name, underline that part, that will be of some use. चलिए, so depending upon the question type, आपको उसी हिसाब से मार्किंग करना है. So इसलिए प्लीज पहले क्वेश्चंस को जरूर देखें. For example, चलिए आपके सामने पहला सवाल है. Question is quite easy. It says, according to the passage, what steps can the executive magistrate take if section 129 fails? Passage is on your screen. So is the question. Let's see, what did you understand after reading it? According to the passage, what steps can the executive magistrate take if section 129 fails? Your options are use of civil force, use of police force, use of armed force, both A and B. I'll wait for some of you to respond. Okay, Harris has already responded. Either Shaurya will go with D. Both of you picked up D. Chali. Dimple, Shubh, Manav, Dwani, Dikshita, Satej, Sujata. Padmaja, Harris, Game Changer, Modi ji. Okay. A, D, D. Well, guys, all of you have read it incorrectly. देखिए, यही एक सबसे बड़ा एरर है जो आपको समझना चाहिए. The way normally we think, यहाँ पे आपने देखा if section 129 fails. So हमारा जो ऑटो ट्यून है वो ट्रेसिंग पे बेस्ड है. जब भी आरसी बचपन से सॉल्व किया आपने, रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, इट्स ऑल अबाउट ट्रेसिंग द राइट आंसर. इट्स नॉट अबाउट solving the question, it's more about tracing answers. So when we see section 129 fails, हम सीधे section 129 ढूंढने लगते हैं और हम यहाँ पहुंच जाते हैं. Section 129 and 30. Under section 129, executive magistrate can issue orders to these persons to disperse. If this fails, तो आपको 129 भी मिल गया, fails भी मिल गया. Magistrate can use the civil force, which is police. So आपने पहला ऑप्शन देखा, yes, 129 fails, civil force यही होना चाहिए. अब ज्यादा पढ़े बिना हम आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. But question is not about 129. Question is what after 129. So as per the passage, executive magistrate has powers under two sections of CRPC, 129 as well as 130. Under section, in order to control crowd. So as per section 129, magistrate can declare that this assembly is unlawful and hence people shall disperse. If people don't follow that command, magistrate can use civil force, which is the police force. That means magistrate can take help of police to disperse the crowd. अच्छा, ये पावर कौन से सेक्शन में दिया हुआ है मजिस्ट्रेट को? To call police and to ask people to leave. Answer is under section 129. So question is not about 129. Question is what if 129 fails? So you have to read on and move on to the third para, which says if these efforts to fail, that means efforts under 129 fail, then the executive magistrate under section 130 CRPC can call an officer of the armed forces. So the right answer for this question would be option C and not A, B, or D. I hope all of you realize what was the okay. Yes, Shaurya, that's the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, use of armed forces. So answer is not in para 2, answer is in para 3. So जब भी question आता है तो tracing method ना follow करें. Please make sure that you understood the question before you started applying all these rules. चलिए, let's try out another question. Let's see कितना समझ में आया. Same passage but a different question. With reference to section 130 of the CRPC, the chief minister can issue orders relating to public security. This statement is true, false, cannot be inferred, none of the above. True, false, cannot be inferred, none of the above. With reference to section 130 of CRPC, chief minister can issue orders relating to public security. This statement is correct, incorrect, true, false, cannot be inferred, none of the above. Let's see. I will read the question for you people. Let's say I think first line शायद अच्छे से नहीं दिख रहा आप लोग को. It says with reference to section 130 of the CRPC, the chief minister can issue orders relating to public security. This statement is true, false, cannot be inferred, none of the above. Pari has responded. What about others? Quickly, guys. With reference to section 130 of CRPC, chief minister can issue orders relating to public security. This statement is true, false, cannot be inferred, none of the above. So Pari says true, Shaurya says false. Dissent is good for democracy. Dissent leads to discussion. Discussion leads to clarity of thought. Dissent is always good. Okay. Pari has also changed her answer. Shubh will go with C, that is cannot be inferred. So much of diversity. Dimple says option B. Well, guys, again, why did I use this question? Because it will again showcase कि हम लोग tracing method use करके गलतियां क्यों करते हैं. जैसे आपने यहाँ पे पढ़ा, chief minister can issue orders. You start searching for this phrase in the passage, and you found it in the last line. It says chief minister can issue orders. Oh, chief minister can issue orders. मिल गया. Chief minister can issue orders relating to public security, as it is पूरा phrase मिला है, isn't it? So answer true होना चाहिए. तो ये हमारा first response होता है. Whenever, even if you are tracing, guys, please don't read incomplete sentence. This sentence is not starting from word chief minister. It is starting from therefore. So if you read the entire sentence, it says, therefore, under these two limited powers, the executive magistrate who reports to the chief minister can issue orders relating to public security. So as per the passage, who can issue orders relating to public security? Is it the chief minister or the executive magistrate? Answer is executive magistrate. So yes, it can be determined whether this statement is true or false. Answer is it is false. So correct answer for this question would be option B. I hope all of you understood. Chali, we'll try another question. Next question is very simple and direct. The NCT of Delhi has been given special status under statutory law, Constitution of India, both, none of these. So अगर ये question मैंने passage से पहले पढ़ा होता, so यहाँ पे एक keyword है special status. I would have marked this word, and then while reading passage, यहाँ पर मुझे सिर्फ ये word ढूंढना था. The moment I find special status, I will find answer to this question. The NCT of Delhi has been given special status under statutory law, Constitution of India, both, none of these. Okay, let's see. Padmaja will go with D. What about others? B versus D, none of the above. Statutory law. Well, just go through the first para. It says NCT of Delhi under Article 239 AA of the Constitution has been given a special status which gives power of lawmaking and administration to an elected legislature and the Council of Ministers. Itna काफी था हमारे लिए. Correct answer. The law, however, puts two subjects, public order and police, directly under the union government. Right? So इसका आगे भी explanation है, लेकिन simple बहुत ही simple सवाल था कि ये special status कहाँ मिला हुआ है? Answer is very simple. Special status has been given in the Constitution, Article 239 AA. Chaliye. Last question related to this particular passage before we end this session today, because there's another session lined up after this one. Try this one. Who can issue orders relating to public security? Passage-based question में many times questions are interconnected. So if you get one question correct, there are chances कि आपको बाकी भी सही मिल जाएंगे. अगर आपने एक क्वेश्चन गलत समझा है तो बाकी के भी गलत होने की चांसेस बढ़ जाते. Who can issue orders relating to public security? Chief Minister, Executive Magistrate, Judicial Magistrate, both C and D. Option D is frivolous because it is saying option D is saying both C and D. So option D तो नहीं होगा. You have to pick something from A, B, and C. And this time majority says B. Executive Magistrate. That's the correct answer. So अगर आपने second question का आंसर गलत दिया होता तो इस question को भी गलत करने के काफी ज्यादा chances थे. Therefore, please make sure कि अगर आप पढ़ रहे हैं तो ध्यान से पढ़ रहे हैं, नहीं तो कोई फायदा नहीं है questions को solve करने का. चलिए, so with this note, correct answer for this one is option B. Majority, rather all of you got it right this time. Congrats, guys. Okay, so legal knowledge की question we'll try to cover up in some legal session in law school session. हमने एक question पहले भी try किया. So for those guys who are not part of IMIS, if you just want to explore how IMIS deals with all these topics, register for a zero fee program by going to imisindia.com and selecting the course that you're interested in, or get in touch with your nearest IMIS center. There are a couple of workshops lined up this week. Tomorrow we are going to conduct a workshop on taming the devil called general awareness. So if you are someone who is scared of GK, don't forget to attend this session tomorrow at 7 p.m. So Mandar Bhatodkar sir will be taking this session, taming the devil called general awareness. If critical reasoning is your problem area, then join us next on, I think, understanding critical reasoning and English workshop. Ms. Shabnam Sahani will be delivering a wonderful session on this topic. On 9th, there's the scholarship test, not for IMS students, for non-IMS students. IMS students will attempt their mock and others can go for a scholarship test on 9th of September. Go to imisindia.com, CLAT Advanced, and you will find details about these sessions. So guys, if you have any question, you can get in touch with your nearest IMS center. And I thank you all of you for attending the session and participating in the session. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet again. Till then, bye. Take care. All the best. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Show your support by liking the video, sharing it to your friends and competitors. तो अपने दोस्तों दुश्मनों में बांटिए. याद रखिए, बांटने से ज्ञान बढ़ता है, साथ में सब्सक्राइब